Welcome to Ascension Whispers. This is Marie Love, and this writing is titled The Reflection in the Mirror. This is information that goes with the larger information called the body-mind connection. But it's not information that requires illustrations to be able to understand what it's saying. Whereas the illustrations of the body-mind connection are pretty detailed. They take a lot of time to make. I'm working on putting that together, and I'm contemplating putting that together as just an illustration book, but it will require more than just pictures. It will require written text explaining what the illustrations mean and how the pieces go together. But in the meantime, while I'm still working on that and still waiting for understanding of more pieces to open within me, I keep thinking I'm going to share some more about the body and what we're seeing as a hologram, how we're seeing the hologram and information like that. So that's what this information is. It's more of the pieces about our embodied expression of Source. The body image we see of ourselves in this earth that we call the human body is not the true expression of our embodied self. The human body is a thought form. It is similar to putting a costume over our true body expression. To assist our understanding, we could compare it to a suit of armor, or the shell of a robot, or perhaps that little alien in that movie, that science fiction movie, Men in Black. There was this, he was the protector of the galaxy in the bauble on the cat's collar. I think the cat's name was Orion. And when this protector in the movie, the science fiction movie, looked like a human, but when he was dying in the morgue, the human body had stopped working, and then it showed the brain opening somewhere, and it had this little guy, this little alien guy, sitting inside the brain that was supposed to have been animating the human body. So your true body expression doesn't look like a little alien body inside of your brain, but that's just another concept to realize that what we see or experiencing as the human body is not our true body expression. Our true body expression is what has been named within Eastern teachings the auric body. I just continue to use the word auric body because, as I said in a previous recording, that's the name that most people recognize. It is a body of radiation that is above the level of radiation, or outside, beyond the level of radiation humans currently see as manifest. Some people would call it an energy body, but the human body form is also an energy body, just at a lower level of energy. Most people are not aware that the word energy is actually radiation. Most are not aware that it is the radiation of our local star, and that our local star is our local source conscious mind. For the sake of simplicity, I will continue to use the word auric body. An auric body that is connected to mind, which we call the sun, has the shape of an egg with slightly pulled up points at the top and bottom. This is where the concept of a flame body comes from. The points are the result of the radiation of the body being pulled up and down at the connection points to the creation 12 point of mind and the 012 point, or the anchor. The auric body is created by the ray of consciousness projected from the creation, or the center point of mind, the center of the sun. The projected ray of consciousness is projected to plug into, or anchor, within the inside rim, we'll say, of the sphere, the 12-point sphere of the planetary shield. That would not be what we call the crust of the planet, because what we see as the planet is a thought form that represents the energetic expression of the planetary shield. The 012 point sphere is also a sphere of radiation. Everything that expresses from the center point of what we call our sun, which is a star, to the boundary of our star is the radiation of our star, expressing at different levels of radiation, from higher to lower. The auric body is created around the ray of consciousness, as mind, our sun, continues to project energy into the ray of consciousness. The ray of consciousness is the vertical pillar chakras that in the expression of our human body form runs from above the top of the head to below the bottom of the feet, approximately 6 inches outside of the body. The vertical pillar chakras are 12, 9, 6, 3, and the 12, 0 chakra below the feet. The layers of the auric body are gradient layers of radiation, radiated by the vertical pillar chakras. The energy that is radiated by the vertical pillar chakras is what creates polarized energy. It's what allows you to have the experience of a left and right side of the body and a body being all around your vertical pillar. That's what polarized energy is. Polarized energy does not create opposites as in good, bad, day, night, hot, cold. It creates opposites as in left, right, up, down, back, forward. The concept that humans hold of polarized energy creating opposites as in good and bad, those kind of things, we'll say things, are the result of the lack of energy of source, which actually means balance or imbalance. There is no good and there is no bad. There's only the energy of source. It's the experience that is had when consciousness fragments and becomes imbalanced to then experience what it means to be out of balance. Of course, humans have created the languages, the words, to describe their experiences of being in balance or out of balance. So we have words such as good and bad, and actually words such as day and night. Nighttime is a result of being out of balance. In a healed planetary shield created by balanced consciousness, nighttime does not occur. That is a result of the level of energy human consciousness fell to, and the amount of energy of our sun, radiation of our sun mind, that can be taken unto ourself, accreted unto ourself, in a given cycle. One given cycle we call a daily cycle. When the body reaches its maximum amount of energy that it is able to accrete in a daily cycle, it shuts down. It cycles into the sleep cycle. And that's what creates nighttime. That's what turns off the sun, turns off the lights. The embodied ray of consciousness and the auric body is a mirror image of mind. To use the human body form and try to understand the numbered sequence of the mirror effect, we need to imagine the human body lying straight and flat on the back. If we call the human body form the mind, for a moment we'll just say the human body's the mind. It's not, but for a moment we'll say it is. The mirror image would be a body with the feet touching, lying on the back, with the head pointing in the opposite direction. When you stand the two bodies up, they are facing each other, looking at each other, or a mirror image. What is actually being mirrored is our star mind, which we call the sun. The human body form and all that we see as manifest are thoughts held within our mind. They are a mirror image of the thoughts held within our mind, and our mind is what we call the sun. Our source mind is looking into each personal identity, auric body, to see what the thoughts that are held within our mind look like within each auric body. Each auric body has a slightly different vibration rate and a slightly different coding that allows the thoughts held within mind to look unique within each auric body. But the auric body of human consciousness, the difference in between people, the difference in the individuated faces of Source embodied, there is an extreme level of difference within the people, we'll say, embodied within the Earth system, because human consciousness is fragmented. So the thoughts that we, our source mind, is looking at and experiencing within this level of energy, within this Earth system, would look different when looking at the same thoughts, experiencing the same thoughts within a higher level of energy, within a balanced auric body, within a balanced planetary shield. This is why our conscious mind is not located inside of the body form, because the body form is a ray of consciousness projected from our conscious mind, 12963, into the lowest layer of energy of our conscious mind, which is the 012 point layer. It is why the creation of the illusion of matter cannot be discovered by looking at the illusion of matter. The illusion of matter is mirror images of the thoughts held within our mind. Everything we see is a reflection of the thoughts held within our star-sun mind. This includes the image we call the sun and the universe. Nothing within creation exists outside of mind. There is no such thing as outside of mind. Everything seen within creation is thoughts held within a level of mind. What we call the sun, what we see in the sky over our head, does not emit light or heat. It emits radiation. It is not possible for Source to see the thoughts of Source as if they exist outside of mind until the point of creating the auric body mirrors for Source to look into. It is not possible for Source to look at Source until Source can look into the mirrors, just as you cannot see your head until you look into a mirror. The embodied rays of Source are the mirrors Source is looking into to see the thoughts of Source. Your auric body is a sphere of radiation created around your ray of consciousness, or your vertical pillar, within one planetary shield. The image we see and call planets are thought images, which represent planetary shields. So too is the human body a thought image that represents your auric body within the planetary hologram. What many people are seeing and calling orbs are spheres of radiation, or thought spheres. If you could see your auric body, it would look like these orbs, but it would look bigger in size than the smaller orbs people are seeing. The size of the orbs people see is the result of the amount of the energy of Source turned on within the orb. The largest orb example we see on pretty much a daily basis we call the sun. The amount of Source energy turned on within the orbs determines how much of the amount of Source energy the orb radiates. The energy that is radiated is what creates the auric body, or the polarized energy of the body. Since the image we see and call the sun is a mirror image, where is the actual image of the sun located that is creating the mirror image? It is the core of the planet. It is the same core of all of the planets. If you have not yet integrated the information that explains what a planetary shield is, you can find that information in Book 2, offered on the Ascension Whispers website. I've also explained part of that in many other writings and recordings, so it's there to be found if you haven't yet integrated that. So when we are looking at the images science shows us of the sun, the so-called solar flares, coronal mass ejections, the solar winds, etc., we are seeing what is occurring within the core of the planet. Creation occurs from the inside out, not the outside in. Always remember that truth, and it will be easier for you to understand some of these things that might currently seem challenging to your brain. Science would really like to know that what we see as the image of the sun in the sky is actually the core of the planet. I would love for science to know that. They could understand a whole lot more about what's going on inside of what we call the planet. The energy of Source radiated by the sun enters into the planetary shield from the core, not from the mirror image we see over our head. We are seeing that occurring by looking into the mirrors on the inside of our auric body. We are seeing the image we call the universe as it is mirrored on the inside of our auric body. And the image that humans are seeing of what we call the universe is a distorted image, seen as it looks through the fragmented consciousness of human consciousness. We are looking at the thoughts of our source mind in the mirrors on the inside of our auric body. That is why each individual face of source, embodied face of source, is creating their own holographic reality field inside of their own personal auric body. It is why no two people experience anything exactly alike. It is why you may see and be aware of something that other people are not. They're not able to see. Or why you may see something different than what other people see. And the beliefs that humans hold determine what you will see, what you will experience, how you will experience thoughts. A prime example of that is the fact that we live inside of a star, that manifest matter is a holographic illusion created by the thoughts held within our star, that there are not actually planets orbiting what we call the sun, and that all of the energy of our star is radiated from the center of our star. Our true expression is a star, which is a replicated mind of Source whole mind. I would really, really love to be able to get all factions of science to consider that thought, because it would change the way that all of humanity looks at creation. The truth is right in front of us. The truth has always been right in front of us. The truth does not hide. It's simply that fragmented consciousness that lost their memory via fragmentation and forgot the truth, then creates their own truth based on the illusion of manifest matter, because that's all they can see and know. It's the process of creating false beliefs on the image in the mirror, because that's all fragmented consciousness can see and know is the image in the mirror. Trying to figure out how matter is created by only being able to see the image in the mirror is not going to allow you to figure that out. What science is doing, particle science, physics, quantum physics, what they are doing in looking for the secret of creation is taking apart the pixels of the image within the mirror. And all they're going to find in doing that is exactly what quantum physics has found. They can go to the tiniest pixel they're able to see, which is a reflected image that they're able to see, and eventually hit a black wall. That's what they have done. They have hit a black wall. And that black wall is the reflection of our sun conscious mind. Because stars do not, unless you're embodied within a hologram, within an individual auric body, which allows you, source embodied, to look into the mirror and see the thoughts held within your mind, you cannot see anything. It's like closing your physical body eyes. And all you see when you close your physical body eyes is blackness. It's the same black wall that quantum physics has reached in their search for trying to understand what creates manifest matter. They hit the, if we think of our mirrors, the way that we create our mirrors here in the hologram, like your bathroom mirror, they hit the backside of the mirror, the blackness on the backside of the mirror, and there's nothing else to see there because it's a mirrored reflection. That's also why science says there's a whole lot of energy missing. Where is the rest of the energy that's creating manifest matter? It's got to be somewhere. And so they've created all of these terms called black matter, black energy, dark matter. There's got to be more energy somewhere that's creating all of the manifest images that we see. Well, there is, and it's the energy of our sun mind. But they're not able to know that because they're only able to look at creation on the outside. The mirror reflection is the outside of creation. It is the auric body of human consciousness that became imbalanced, not the human body thought form. The human body thought form is simply a mirroring of the imbalance held within the auric body. The human body is working exactly as it was created to work, to act as a thought image, mirroring the energy expression embodied within the auric body. This is why lasting healing cannot occur by putting a bandage on the human body thought form. Healing must occur from within for it to be mirrored. The imbalance of the auric body is the result of the embodied ray of consciousness, the ray projected from our sun mind, lacking the higher energy of our sun mind. The only way to bring the auric body back into balance is for the embodied ray of consciousness to receive the higher energy of mind. This means higher levels of radiation. The human body thought form can only hold so much radiation, as it is a thought form composed of very low levels of radiation. This is why the embodied ray of consciousness must step out of the human body thought form when they have expanded to a higher level of energy or radiation, because the human body cannot hold the level of energy radiation they have expanded to. This is what creates what we call death of the human body. It is a result of the increasing level of radiation of the embodied ray of consciousness. We already know that exposure to high levels of radiation can make the human body sick, or even begin the death cycle. We begin the process of dying the human body as soon as our ray of consciousness births into it, simply because the process of having the life experience is the process of accreting radiation to us, which in this Earth holographic reality field is the process of merging our fragmented energy back together, which is fragmented radiation. And some people accrete energy or draw energy to their self faster than others do. This is why every person dies the human body exactly when they are supposed to, exactly when they must do so, regardless of the event applied as the cause of death. When you finish the earth life experience, you will instantly regain all of your energy. This will allow you to self-create a new body thought form to represent yourself within the higher radiation of the balanced expression of Earth. Regaining your energy will instantly return your memory, which means you'll instantly remember the truth of creation, and you will know yourself as Source embodied. Well, you won't be embodied at that second until you embody again, which will be like the next second. But you will know yourself as Source. And when you embody, you will know yourself as Source embodied, and continue creating new life forms as Source embodied. Everything that we call a holographic reality field, what we call nature, what we call the biosphere, is what being source embodied is about. Creating all of that life, all of those life forms. They are all thought forms. They are the thoughts held within source mind. And it's about creating everything that we call living within the earth reality field. You will join all you have known and loved who have left the earth hologram before you. You will be able to recreate your beloved pets as they are thoughts held within you. It is true that humans are created in the image of God. The image is the reflection in the mirror. The reflection in the mirror is the middleman, or for millions of people, the middleman continues to be an ancient teacher, which many call Jesus. There are middlemen within other religious belief systems as well. But guess what? You, the reflection of you in the mirror, you are the middleman. You are source mind embodied. And you, standing in front of the mirror, looking at yourself, that is the middleman. That is what the ancient teacher, many people called Jesus, tried to tell the people, tried to assist the people to understand in thoughts such as, I am a son of God, S-U-N. All of these things I have done, you can do as well. You are the same. All humans are equal. All humans are source embodied. There is no difference. Jesus was trying to teach the people these things, but the consciousness was not high enough at that level in time, as it has not been high enough for the other teachers that have, the ancient teachers that have walked the planet and tried to return pieces of truth to humanity. Human consciousness was not high enough to be able to see beyond the false beliefs that humans have created. And it wasn't high enough, the energy of the planetary shield wasn't high enough in energy to allow these ancient teachers a better way of trying to assist the population to understand what they were trying to share with them. It's not really, it is slightly different now because there is a whole lot more of source energy embodied within the planetary shield now. So it allows more people within the Earth population to wake up and begin to at least think about these kind of thoughts. Whereas in ancient times, when these teachers walked the planet trying to assist the people to understand, there wasn't enough energy to assist the teachers and to assist the people. So they shared what they were remembering within their self, the way that they could understand it their self, using the languages of the times. And as today I have to continue to create analogies to try to explain different pieces with you, to share different pieces with you. They had to do the same thing. They had to use the languages of the times, the beliefs of the times, to create analogies to try to share thoughts with the people. Hence we have thoughts such as mansions, many mansions within the house of God. Stars. Mansions are the stars. But to the peoples of the time, mansion was royalty, you were considered closer to God because of the false beliefs that the king lines were closer to God, and they lived in mansions. So that was within the thoughts of consciousness during those time periods. That was the highest thought analogy that could be reached to try to share pieces of information with them. And the same is true today. I still have to continue to come up with analogies to try to assist people to understand what I see, what I'm remembering within myself. Now I've lost my reading point train of thought here. The man in the mirror, the middleman, yes. If in your beliefs you are waiting on a savior to come down to earth and save humanity from their self, just go look in the mirror. There you will see your savior. You are source embodied. It doesn't mean that you have to change everything you believe. You can't just change everything that your brain has been programmed to believe overnight. To do so would probably make you go mentally insane because, well, what are you going to believe now? You have to believe something. It's a process of healing to remember the truth. And offering you these thoughts to consider is not to change your belief system. It's to offer you something to consider, to try to spark a higher spark of source energy within your own body, brain, auric body system, to allow you to think differently and say, I never thought about that before. Well, let me think about that some more. And the process of thinking about it then creates a chain reaction of events within yourself, within your own body, brain, auric body system. It begins a sparking process, kind of like sparking an instrument, turning on more energy, playing more notes. And if you continue to think about it and you continue to ask questions within yourself and you say, well, how does this work? And what about this? And how did this work? That continues to create more sparking. Now, within the human body that we know and that we have been taught, is composed of biological organisms that has cells and neural pathways connected to the brain. What it does is create more brain cells within the brain. When you no longer accept something that you have believed all of your life as your belief, when you stop thinking about it, then the brain will... Sorry, I had to pause there and cough. The brain will clip the networks to the information of what you no longer believe because you know it's no longer needed. The brain works on energy conservation. It can only keep so much energy open at a time. And so it cleans up, gets rid of the thoughts, doesn't get rid of, turns them off. Turns off the thoughts that you no longer require because you no longer believe them, or they're no longer necessary for your holographic life experience. The brain doesn't get rid of them unless you're willing to let them go, unless you're willing to allow them to be purged. That it had not been possible for the thoughts that the brain turned off to be purged from human consciousness for over 26,000 years. Because for them to be purged, they have to be released back into mind. And because human consciousness became disconnected almost completely, not all the way completely, there was the lifeline connection that occurred, but disconnected from the higher energy of mind, the thoughts of humanity, even when They were no longer thought about when people stopped thinking about them, and they were turned off within human DNA. Still could not be purged from human DNA, which meant they continued to be passed on to each next generation. And that is still occurring today. Whatever thoughts, inherited thoughts that you have received through the genetic line, what we call the genetic line, in the dormant, not junk DNA, that have not been purged, can turn on during the life experience. If a similar experience, a similar emotional reaction is experienced that is keyed to the same frequency of the dormant thought, it can turn it on. And that is what allows history to repeat itself, to play out again. It looks different when it plays out again because it's playing out within a different level of energy. So to stop history from repeating itself, to stop all of these issues that have been part of the human experience for millions of years, not just thousands of years, such as the concept of slavery. That's just one major issue that's still slavery and racial issues, still a part of the Earth hologram today. Those things continue to be passed on to the next generation because the current generation that holds them, that passes them on, keeps them alive within the active DNA because they continue to think about them, believe them, have their issues, whatever they are, never forget what was done to us, never forget what whoever did to whoever in whatever war or situation. It's the process of keeping imbalanced thoughts alive and keeping them stuck within human DNA to then be passed on to the children who, if they have a life experience or their brain is programmed to think the same way, turns on that imbalanced coding within the dormant DNA. And that is what continues. That is why all of the wars that have played out within the Earth hologram are actually the same wars, playing out over and over again through the same consciousness that became trapped within the Earth hologram. The issue might look different in the moment. The faces playing in the game of playing out the wars, fighting with each other, they look different, but it's the same thoughts, the same imbalanced thoughts playing out over and over again. So if we desire to assist humanity to heal as much as possible while still remaining embodied within the Earth hologram, it requires releasing, letting go of all of these ancient imbalanced thoughts. It's not occurring today. Yes, there is still imbalance. There is still people that have racial issues, that people that are being enslaved around the planet against their will. Slavery has not stopped in this hologram just because it's not still part of the economic system in what we call first world countries. It still goes on around the hologram. But it requires enough of the faces of Source to send enough love to be the love of Source and project enough of the love of Source unto the collective of humanity. And when we encounter these ancient imbalances coded within human DNA, to recognize what's going on, why it's there, why are people still fighting over this, why do they still have these issues, why is this still occurring, to be aware why it is still occurring. And when we see those things, even if we're not drawn into it, if we're not part of the issue, if we're not part of the fighting that's continuing to play it out, When we see those things flash before our eyes in the news or the internet or wherever we see them, it's opening those thoughts within ourselves to allow us to see those thoughts, which means they're held within us, or we wouldn't be able to see those thoughts. We either hold it because we inherited it through what we call the genetic line, or we've drawn the thoughts to us to allow us to open them within ourselves, to be able to look at them within our mirrors of our personal auric body. It's then a point of being able to realize, this is in me, this thought is held within me because I'm seeing it within my mirrors. But that's not what I desire to experience. That's not what I desire humanity to experience. So this thought no longer serves me. It no longer serves what I desire. It no longer serves the love that I desire to see reflected in my mirror. So I'm not going to hold on to this anymore. I'm going to let go of it. I'm going to return it to Source because I am love. I am Source embodied. And this is an imbalanced thought. If I let go of it and return it to Source mind, which occurs when we don't give it any energy, when we don't think about it, when we don't feed energy into it. Thinking about it is feeding energy into it, which keeps it alive within us. So when we stop thinking about it, our brain will cut the connections to the thoughts encrypted within the DNA, and it will purge from ourself. Now that we're reconnected to Source Mind, it can purge from ourself and flow back into the higher energy of our mind to be brought back in balance. So I kind of added more than I had written down there to share with you in this message. I do that from time to time. I just follow the wave of Source Mind as the thoughts flow through me, and obviously Source Mind, our mind, wanted to talk about some more of those things today, so I just let it flow and I shared it with you. If you resonate with the information offered on Ascension Whispers, please share it with everyone that you know in whatever way you can, so that other people can at least have the opportunity to know that it's there to consider, to offer them a spark. You may not resonate with everything, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. Just take what will assist you on your journey to create as much balance within yourself as you can, and leave what doesn't assist you right now. It doesn't really matter. I have come to realize sometime in the last few months that it really doesn't matter if I continue to share any more of the things that I am remembering within myself from Source Mind with anyone. It doesn't matter if anybody else embodied within the hologram shares what they're remembering with anyone. The process of remembering is the process of opening the thoughts within the planetary shield, which then allows it to become available to all of humanity to reach, to remember when they reach the point within their Earth life experience to be able to do so. If not, if that doesn't occur during the Earth life experience, then they're going to remember as soon as they step out of the human body anyway. So it really doesn't matter. But I continue to share what I remember because, for one, I think it's absolutely fascinating. And because of the love of Source that flows through me, I desire to share all of that love with anybody that's willing to accept it. I just spread it out there, and if you want it, there it is. It's yours. Go get it. It would be much easier if I could just share with you, project to you, send to you simply by thinking all of the thoughts, that all of the memory that has opened within me. It would be easier for me, it would be easier for you. But it would probably blow your body up if you're not able to receive it. It would be information load big time. It wouldn't blow your body up. Your body would just go to sleep. But it would be information load big time, because I haven't remembered it all at once. It continues to open within me as I have continued to heal within myself, turn on more flows of energy, and continue to think, focus, meditate within source mind to allow that to occur. Then more memory turns on within me. So I could not have opened all of this information energy within myself all at one time either. That's why one of the reasons why I continue to offer it to you in pieces, bits and pieces, as short as I can make it at the time without making it too short that there's no understanding whatsoever, because I understand what it feels like in the body to reach energy overload, to reach your maximum level of energy that you can hold in the moment. You just feel exhausted and you have to go to sleep, and that doesn't really assist anyone. So, well, I'm going to stop talking now. That's all for this message. I hope you enjoyed it. Loving blessings to all. Bye for now.